Black history is possibly one of the greatest deceptions of our society. There's no such thing as Black history. Black history is fiction filled with fictional stories. Some stories are based on the truth, but ultimately their narrative is based on deception. The division of black and white has been planned and engineered from the very beginning. The indoctrination of our education was a main key to sell the narrative. Both new and old characters on the world stage are purposely placed in the narrative for their control and power. Malcolm and Martin's character was placed on the world stage around the same time to battle against racism in the middle of the start of civil rights. The sole purpose was to add to the division of the races and conquer the black race, both of them being opposite, which created the duality. Malcolm and Martin will always be remembered as being successful in creating what is called the pro-black movement. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King characters were created for a psychological operation to work for both platforms. Martin's character was created to advocate for the Negro race or the black man's civil rights movement. Martin was passive and Malcolm was aggressive. Martin was peaceful, problem solver. Malcolm's made statements and threats involving violence, and his famous quote was, "By any means necessary." Martin's character was created to be a hero in the fight against racism. He was a peaceful and a problem solver. He was also a Southern Baptist preacher. Back then, pastors and churches were the only safe and trusted source. Black people feared God, so the respect of a pastor or church was greatly appreciated. That's why it was so easy to convince and control the masses. Both men were both Freemasons. Martin was open about his involvement with the craft. It was no secret that his church was promoting Prince Hall Masonry. Prince Hall Masons have been a huge influence and involvement in black churches and communities. Malcolm, however, was a part of the higher order of the Masons, the Shriners. The Shriners have Arabic roots and are the highest level degree for the start of initiation of the Masons, are also a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. When the South, with the South being the center of race division and hate, and heavy influence of Muslim religion against the white supremacists, this was an easy win for both platforms. Both were against and succeeded in their agenda. Both of them were agents and both were involved. Listen as Martin and Malcolm, in their own words, talk about how the narrative was created to deceive.
Our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary. I would like for all of us to believe in nonviolence, but I'm here to say tonight that if every Negro in the United States turns against nonviolence, I'm going to stand up as a lone voice and say this is the wrong way. I will never change. We're nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us. But we are not nonviolent with anyone who is violent with us. of nonviolence, wasn't it also the only thing you could do? The white community having the monopoly on violence, that if you had tried violence, they would have met it with violence. It was the only device open to you, wasn't it? Well, I'll put it another way, that morally, I was led to nonviolence because I felt that it was the best moral way to deal with the problem. We were seeking to establish a just society. And it was my feeling then, and it is my feeling now. Of action. It's my intention to work with everybody or against everybody, whatever the case may be, to try and get some kind of immediate solution to the problems that are confronting our people. I still believe the best thing for us to do is go back home to Africa. But while we friends of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told me that 50 years ago tonight here at the Mason Temple, Dr. King was no longer distracted by death or fear. He had made peace